Are you ready for an extreme toy declutter? Christmas is right around the corner, and I feel like so many parents, including myself, clearly struggle with the maintenance of decluttering and organizing kids' toys on a regular basis. In today's video, I'm going to be decluttering and organizing every single one of my kids' toys. I wish I was the type of parent that could just take a shovel to my kids' toys, scoop a pile up, toss it in a bag, and do away with everything and kind of start fresh. That's the mindset I had when going into this mess, but I just can't do that. I'm not that type of mom. I wish I could though. I wish I could do that, but I like to organize my kids' toys because they do play with these toys, and I feel like it's only fair that I do this for them like once or twice a year and kind of give them a fresh start. I mean, let's be real, it's not their fault that they have so many toys. We definitely do not buy them that many toys. They have birthdays and grandparents give them stuff, friends and family. Even with how many times we have said no more toys, just come celebrate. You don't need to bring anything. Everybody always brings something, and while we appreciate the gifts and I'm sure our kids love opening them at the time, it does create this absolute disaster that, like I said, about once or twice a year I have to work through. Sharing this video, I'm sure I'm going to get so many suggestions on how to manage the disaster. I could rotate toys or declutter even more, or whatever the case is. I have tried so many different things, and this is just what I'm doing right now. I'm decluttering once or twice a year. When I do this, I'm also organizing, and it does stay pretty organized for a time being. A lot of the things I'm tossing are smaller, insignificant toys that will never ever be missed. And let's also remember that kids are not going to declutter their own toys. They do know what I'm doing. There is no secret to what I'm doing, but they actually enjoy a cleaner, more clutter-free space over having this disaster of toys everywhere, which I feel is relatable even as an adult. Nobody, not even children, enjoy being in a cluttered disaster. My kids are 7 and under. I have a 7-year-old, 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and 8-month-old, and all of them prefer being in a nice, clean space. Yes, even my 8-month-old who loves just crawling around everywhere in a clean space. Speaking of my kids, this was one of the more difficult tasks for me to get done. It took me hours and hours and hours. I felt like this task was never ending, but when I was done, it was so rewarding. The reason it was so difficult is because I have an 8-month-old who likes to put everything in her mouth, and there are lots of little pieces down here. So every time she went down for a nap, I just ran downstairs. Yes, I'm in an unfinished basement. My kids have fun down here. We keep most of their toys down here. We do have a playroom upstairs, as I showed in the beginning of the video, but most of their toys are in the basement. We will be finishing this basement eventually, hopefully in the next 2 years-ish. If you're new to my channel, we just built and moved into this house last December, almost 1 year ago exactly, and these things just take time. We expected to do a whole bunch of stuff, and everything is just taking a little bit longer than we expected, so we're giving ourselves some time and prioritizing things, doing everything one step at a time. While we are decluttering, my Eureka E20 Plus is doing some vacuuming and mopping in the main part of my home. The Eureka E10S already performed great, but leveraging the streamlined performance of the Eureka E10S, the Eureka E20 Plus introduces significant upgrades in critical aspects such as suction power, obstacle avoidance, and anti-tangle technology, elevating the overall cleaning ability. With Duo Detect AI 3D obstacle avoidance, you can completely and confidently delegate your cleaning tasks to your robot. This is one of the only robot vacuums that actually goes underneath my couch. Usually they see it as an object, and I just love that about this one. The Eureka E20 Plus has larger wheels, so it can overcome barriers up to 20 millimeters high, easily passing thresholds in your home. The E20 Plus has a 5-stage filtration system that captures dust through a filter screen, multi-cone cyclone, MIF filter cotton, high-density filter cloth, and HEPA filter, keeping your home's air fresh and healthy. It combines powerful suction with a large area mop to wipe out dirt and stubborn stains from hard floors. It also can clean large areas in a single charge, offering a 180-minute runtime for up to 300 square meters. You can see here that the robot is cleaning a pretty big mess, but it completely cleans the area, leaving it spotless. Just to demonstrate how clean the Eureka E20S got my floor after that mess, I pulled out a baby wipe and wiped down the area. You can see the baby wipe is pretty much completely clean. The E20 Plus also detects rugs or carpet. The mop will be raised 10 millimeters to keep your carpet clean and dry during automatic cleaning. There's an innovative pull handle on the top of the base station that simplifies the process of lifting the unit, making debris disposal efficient and effortless. Not only does the Eureka E20 Plus work great, but it also looks great in my living room. I love the design of it. It fits perfectly into our new home. If you want to check out the E20 Plus, make sure you click the link in my description. Thank you, Eureka, for sponsoring today's video. While we're decluttering, let's talk about New Year's resolutions. Do you do New Year's resolutions? Have you stuck to them? Me personally, I will not be having any resolutions this year. Instead, I'm going to focus on goals, short-term and long-term goals. They don't have to be done in a year. My long-term goals, for example, could be even 15 years long. But I feel like when you make New Year's resolutions specifically, not only are you limiting yourself to that year, you're also procrastinating, saying that you will start to make changes in the new year. And that doesn't always work out the best. In order to make changes, I've learned that your mind has to be fully on board to making those changes. Just because a date comes around doesn't mean your mind is ready to actually make those changes and create new habits. Something kind of funny that I do that is similar to like a vision board is I keep a document up on my computer with a list of all of my goals. Once I accomplish a goal, rather than deleting it completely, I just cross it out so that I can see visually that I am completing and accomplishing my goals. This helps me when I'm feeling a little unmotivated or discouraged, knowing that in the past I have been able to accomplish my goals, so moving forward, I know that I can continue doing that. Sometimes it can be a little intimidating to share what your goals are, especially if you are a dreamer. Some people are like, oh my gosh, that is crazy. That is never going to happen. Be realistic. Get those people out of your life. You need positive encouragement. Be a dreamer. That is how people are successful in life. If you had no dreams, you would be nowhere. And that is not meant to sound anything but positive. I think it's so important to dream big and work towards those dreams and those goals. And even though it might be a little bit intimidating to speak those goals and share them out of fear of being judged, I also think it's really important to speak them, to share them with the universe. Nothing happens unless you make it happen and if you truly believe that it will happen. From past experience in many aspects of my life, if you truly believe something will happen, you will make those steps to make it happen. Please know that I do understand that there are circumstances that this does not apply to. I'm more speaking to goals like losing weight or exercising more or eating healthy or starting to make your own bread, making more money, changing careers. Things like that are in your control. Let me just give you an example. I will use one of my personal big goals here, especially because we are on social media. I will share a social media goal with you. One of my goals is to have 1 million subscribers here on YouTube, which I am far away from. Let me just note that. I understand it's going to take some time. It could take years, but that doesn't mean I'm just going to sit here and hope that it happens. No, instead I'm going to think about the number. I'm going to think about, okay, I would love to have 1 million subscribers. How cool would that be? How would I feel once I hit that number? How would I celebrate? How would I feel inside? I'm going to think about all of those things and continue to work towards it every day. When I do think about it, I get excited on the inside as if it were actually happening now. I know that probably sounds funny, but I feel like it's an important part of making your dreams become a reality. So share your goals, big or small, short-term or long-term, in the comments. I cannot wait to read them. Changing subjects here, we are done in the basement for right now. I'm actually going to go upstairs the next day after we're done vacuuming. I called it a night, but the next morning I woke up and went into the playroom, gathered every toy that was in there and brought it to the basement and started decluttering again. Just when you thought it was over, it's not. There is even more, and we will get to the end of the toys by the end of this video. I didn't want to declutter in 2 separate rooms because I wanted to keep everything together. It just made more sense to me this way. So this is where we are stopping. I'm showing you everything in the basement real quick before heading into the playroom to gather everything and bring it downstairs. This is when I started to feel like, oh my gosh, there is no end to this. I feel like I just went through this huge pile and now here is another huge pile for me to go through. But we kept going, kept pushing forward. I knew it needed to happen, and finally at the end we got it done, and like I said, it was so rewarding once it was done. While I was decluttering right here, my older three were all sleeping and Adeline was awake with me. It was probably around 8:30 p.m. and she doesn't really go to bed until it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. She goes to bed with me. We co-sleep, but this was very, very difficult with her down here with me, and I eventually needed to decide to call it a night.
This is not possible. This is not possible right now, is it? Should we just go night-night? Maybe try again tomorrow? Should we try again tomorrow? There's just so much little stuff here for you to grab, isn't there? Yes, there is. I know, you want to check this out? Wow, look at that. Tell me all about it.
So that was the end on night 2, and yes, I am wearing the same sweatsuit because I went to sleep in it and I got up the next morning and just continued to declutter the basement, not even thinking about changing my clothes or anything. Once I was done, it was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, and I showered and I got in bed and everything was nice and peaceful because this project was done. I've gotten a lot of questions about where my fish tank is since we moved. It is in the basement. I wanted to show it to you. I don't think I've shown it at all since we moved, but here it is, all of the same fish. Besides, we have one more. We have a pea puffer in there and everything else is the same. All of the fish are alive and healthy. Everyone's doing great, but we had one chance to move this fish tank and we knew we wanted it in the basement. We know we are going to finish the basement and it's just a huge tank. We didn't want it on the main floor, so it's just nice to have it on the concrete down here in case anything happens, because we do have lots of kids and anything is possible. I've also gotten questions on how we take care of the fish tank. I am not the one who takes care of the fish tank. In fact, that was the agreement when we got the fish tank, was I will have no part of it. I will help pick out the fish, but I will not clean the tank. I will not be any part of any of that, as if I don't already have 4 children to take care of. I do not need to take care of a fish tank as well. And Rob is perfectly fine with that. He really wanted the fish tank, so that is what we agreed on. So for all of you asking how we take care of it or what we do, how often we feed them, I'm sorry, I do not know. finally the decluttering is done. I ended up with 4 full garbage bags of toys and a couple other larger toys that I just didn't fit in garbage bags. They're just set aside. Now I'm going to wipe everything down. This kids kitchen I got on Facebook Marketplace. It's actually a Pottery Barn kids kitchen. I plan on making it over with all of my non-existent free time, but hopefully eventually I will have some free time to make this kitchen over and make it nice and cute for the kids. It was only $40, and like I said, it's from Pottery Barn. It is very beat up and needs some TLC, but I thought that was a great deal that I couldn't pass up. I'm pretty sure this set is like $800 new. They don't make this one anymore, but if you've ever looked at kids kitchens on Pottery Barn's website, they are between like $500 and $1,000, which is insane for a kids kitchen in my opinion. So I'm wiping everything down, rearranging the kitchen, setting the toys off to the side, vacuuming the couch and cleaning that area a little bit, and calling it a day. I'm so happy this is done. Thank you so much for joining me for today's decluttering and organizing video. I hope it gave you tons of motivation and inspiration, especially if you are like me and had tons of toys to declutter for the holidays. Hopefully this video gave you the motivation to do that. Thanks again for being here and watching. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.